A Kultured Kast has been created for entertainment and educational purposes. The advice given are opinions of our host and not of medical advice. The podcast is not a substitute for direct, personalized, professional medical care and diagnosis. Exercises and dietary advice mentioned should be discussed with your physician or personal trainer to find out what is best for you.
You want to get fit? How about Ultra Fit? Come grab your Ultra Fit meals at Athletic Culture. You'll love it.
This episode of Kultured Kast is made possible by Paul Sadlin Motors, your local Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac dealer on Bayfield Street in Barrie and online at paulsadlin.com.
All right, well, welcome to the next episode of Kultured Kast. I think this is episode 58, and the score so far for Jeff is 55-3 when it comes to solid points gained. Yeah. Sorry, Corey. So we have a special guest. As a matter of fact, we have two special guests today. We have Paula Razulis. Is that how I pronounce it? Razulis and Chad.
Yes, and Chad.
Her alter ego.
I didn't bring my hat, though.
Oh, don't worry. We have props.
Okay.
That's for later, though. So Paula's a registered kinesiologist. She's a trainer in athletic culture. Star of her own TikTok series, Prepping with Paula.
Wrong.
Perfect,
That's wrong.
perfect. She's a yoga instructor, fashion enthusiast, shopping addict, funny as hell and always smiling. Paula has survived bouts with both anorexia nervosa and bulimia. And as I'm sure we will both attest, she's a coworker, she's a friend, but most importantly, she's family.
Oh,
My homie.
Welcome to the
Wow,
That's
thanks,
right.
guys.
Welcome to the podcast.
Homie Pete.
Thanks.
So, introduce yourself. Like, tell us. We don't have to get into specifics right away, but just tell us about you.
Okay, well, my name's Paula. Hi.
That's a great start.
I've been working for the gym since we opened, so I'm
OG.
one of the
An original.
Yeah.
The only original.
Besides,
Good, this is not off to a
you.
good start for you,
Besides
pal.
you.
It's not off to a good start.
yeah, so I personal train. I'm trying to get into medical school one day, so just kind of going through the motions of applying to that. I like to drink coffee, and I love to shop.
Yes.
Too much.
We were talking about her Bugatti
suitcase.
that she
Yeah.
bought.
Or
But
her,
it was a big
puffer
deal.
jacket phone case.
That my phone needed that.
But she's not
It
extra.
needed that.
So now she's an addict justifying her purchase right now, right? So
Okay. Yeah. I will justify every purchase that I make.
Until
Just
you
bring it
return
at me.
yeah. So we brought you on to talk about the eating disorders because a couple of episodes ago we talked about the spectrum of clean eating and eating for a purpose, eating for survival, and then the other end of it being eating disorders. Mm-hmm. In between there is your disordered eating, and people may not realize, but what we've done to prep for shows is extremely disordered eating.
Yes.
It may not be an eating disorder, but we skeletonize ourselves, especially during peak week, the things we do to our body. Eating disorders takes that to a whole new level, to a level of addiction or problems. And I want to know from you, tell us about that. Like, what age, what prompted it, why, what was the psychology behind what happened?
Yeah, for sure. So I think it started when I was in grade 7. So I got into the gym in grade 7 with one of my girlfriends I went to school with, and we would just kind of compete in the gym. Like, how many sit-ups could you do? How many push-ups? And I think that kind of sparked my competitive personality. And so from grade 7 onwards, I think I went to the gym like 7 days a week just to outcompete her. And from that, she was very interested in like eating healthy or not eating in a sense. And I kind of stuck onto that as well. So I felt like I had to be like her in a sense. So we grew up together, and she's a great person. It's like, I don't want to say anything negative about her, but it just caused me to have those like negative thoughts. High school was really bad, just comparing myself to the girls there and the way I looked, and I always thought I was fat. When I was like a size 0 in my pants, like I was so small, and every day I woke up at 5:30, I would go to the gym, and I was in like grade 9 at this point. I would go to the gym, I would do fitness in school, then I would go to volleyball practice, then I would go back to the gym, then I would come home, and I think I would have maybe half a sandwich all day. Yeah. I was like driving myself to the ground, but it was like, I had this mentality that if if I was skinny, I would be happy with the way I looked. And that's all I thought about. And I was like, okay, my life will be complete if I'm skinny. And I was skinny. And
What was your definition of skinny? Like,
okay, that's a good question, because my definition of skinny would be, we used to have those like thigh gaps. Like that was like a big trend in my high school when I was there. And if I had like a perfect thigh gap, and you know, when you can wrap your arm around your bicep or something like that, that was skinny. That was skinny. Yeah. Yeah. And I remember like looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, I'm just not there yet. I'm just not there yet. And that was like my mentality. And then so through high school, it was like that. And then university was probably the worst part of my life, because everything shifted to bulimia at that point. So I was starving myself. And then in university, I would go through episodes of binging. I never purged, like I never vomited after, which is probably a good thing, because it's definitely not good on your body to be. And I think that might have caused me to have the eating disorder for longer than I did, if I knew that was a way out to vomit all my food that I was eating.
I have known people to do that.
Yeah. So, it was just up and down of binging, being so depressed, just going into a deep low, starving, binging, depression. Like, it was rough.
I don't know if you ever ran into this situation, but you would always look at yourself in the mirror and think that you're fat. How would you ever handle, maybe you had like a close friend or a family member, and maybe they were uncomfortable with themselves, but they weren't fat. If someone came to you with that, are you like, no, you're not fat? Like
I know what you mean. Yeah. Totally. I would be like, oh my gosh, no, you look beautiful. Like,
but then like that's what people are saying to you.
Yeah, I know,
right?
and I never like.
So
I could never.
You can hype them up, but you would never want to get hyped up.
No.
You know, you would tell people that you look fine.
Yeah.
But you don't want to hear people tell you that you're fine.
because we're better at giving other people advice than taking our own.
For sure.
advice.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah. Totally.
For sure.
Yeah.
What brought you out of it?
So I was hospitalized in second year of university when I was home for the summer. So I was put in like a psychiatric ward, and I remember, like, I wasn't suicidal, but I did tell my parents, like, I'm ready to die. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is like the 7th year. And so they brought me to the hospital and they got me like checked in. And I remember walking by this girl who was in the ward, and she was in a chair, and her head, she looked like she was like from The Exorcist. Like her head was hanging like this. She had her arms out, and her dad was there just like staring, like just in a chair beside him. And I remember looking at her and I was like, I'm gonna end up like that. Like, I'm going to end up like that. And I think from that point on, after I got like treatments in the hospital, I was sent to Newmarket Hospital, which is phenomenal for eating disorders under 18. Like, they do a great program there, and I got help. And I remember like just that day, like thinking like, I'm stronger than this. Like, I can get out of this. Like, this is a mindset. And I just worked so hard at it. Like, I went to a bunch of therapists, and just every day I kind of took a step forward, and I took tons of steps back too. But it was just that day that kind of like woke me up. And you know, all the stress I was putting on my parents too, I felt was a lot. And like them seeing me in the hospital and just like basically dying, like that just kind of woke me up from it.
How long were you hospitalized for?
I just for the night there, and then so that was like the only time that they wanted to keep me in the hospital, and then I would have to go twice a week to Newmarket for help every week. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to ask you how you see yourself now, because it's been a while now, right?
Yeah. So I think I started to feel better. Like, I started to see recovery probably my 4th year of university. Also, like, stress of school was a really big impact, because stress of school would lead to me overeating to cope with stress, which would lead to me feeling depressed, and it was a whole cycle.
It's a vicious cycle, yeah.
Yeah, so I think when I got out of university and I wasn't like as stressed about it, I mean, I was still writing like my exams for medical school, but it was just less of like having to, because I got my grades, you know, I got my GPA that I wanted, but it's like a different kind of stress.
Right.
What was the question again?
How do you feel about yourself?
How do you feel about yourself now? I mean, back then you look at yourself in the mirror and you see yourself as fat, right?
Yeah.
How do you when you look at yourself in the mirror now, how does that?
I mean, I have never been happier. Like, I will go through ups and downs, and like, I'm not going to say I'm 100% perfect, but I do feel like I am so happy with the way I look, and like, I remember being really tiny and being like, I can never have a baby because I never want to gain the weight. And I'm ready to not ready to have children, but I would like to have children. And
That's
I don't.
not a barrier anymore.
No, I just look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, wow, I have come so far. And I think too, a lot of social media and stuff I don't want to say like it's toxic, but it also helped because there was a shift in kind of what girls were supposed to look like from being super skinny Victoria models to like Kim Kardashian.
Totally changed now.
Right?
Totally different.
It has,
And that
100%.
helped.
Spectrum now.
Yeah, like as much as people like bash Kim Kardashian and stuff, like her bigger body and stuff like that really helped me be like, okay, like, you know, gaining muscle, getting bigger is kind of what I want to do now because that's what people like.
Look at Jennifer Lopez when she first broke out in the business, all the criticism that she took for being the size that she was.
Yeah.
And literally that is the look now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the look.
Yeah.
But I think like there's a spectrum, right? Like some people who are just naturally thin aren't able to obtain the Kim Kardashian look, right?
Yes.
In a healthy way.
Yes.
So for them now, if that's the beauty, they're going to be trying to seek that.
Yeah.
Right. And it goes both ways. So we have to change what beautiful means and what sexy means. It's, you know, my fiance talked about it and it's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
And we are the
Yeah.
beholders. We need to view ourselves as that and not compare ourselves to what other people are deeming as beautiful or sexy.
That's right.
Yeah.
In the old days, in the eyes of the beholder was a quiet opinion. Now the eyes of the beholder is plastered across social media and a forced expectation put on especially young girls
Yeah.
you look this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't, and we've discussed this before, and I take this very personally, you won't fit in.
Yeah.
Well, why do I have a right to tell you how to fit in?
Yeah.
Who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Every single person's definition of what beautiful or good looking is going to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I can never tell, you know, someone else you shouldn't think that person's good looking just because I don't, or vice versa.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, 100%. But I agree with what you said before. There was a stereotype 7, 8, 9 years ago,
Yeah.
and that stereotype has almost flip flopped. Where hopefully, and I hopefully I believe this in my heart, that girls look in the mirror and like I'm okay looking like because that ideal that's on social media isn't.
Yeah.
Well, so they just released
it
an
used to
article,
be.
I think the New York Post or somebody wrote it, and it says the heroin, whatever chic is back.
That's
Yeah,
just
what
what
does
that
you
mean?
can't pronounce.
So it's that thin figure, no curves, you know, and
Smoker's
they're
butt.
saying that it's back.
Yeah.
Right?
Really?
But bodies should not be trending.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that's a
True.
great
That-
point.
that's the
Yeah.
point.
Bodies should not be
100%,
trending.
that's a great
Fashion can
point.
trend, but
Such a,
and in the same sense of fashion trending, some people's bodies can't, you know, look that way in what's trending, right? It doesn't
Yep.
look good on
Yep.
those bodies, so they need to find what works for them, not what's trending. For
That's right.
society.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
they say thick is what's good looking now, and like you said, someone just doesn't have that structure and might not be able to achieve that, are you just telling that person that they can never be beautiful or never be good
Exactly.
looking?
well, and or give up or result or go to extremes to try to get there.
Yeah.
You know, you'll never get there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. My mom always used to tell me too that like what helped me a lot is your body is just a temple for your soul, and your soul is what will pass on, and that's the part of you that is so important, and your body is just there to house it. So it's like whether you look the way you want to look or something different, like what you want your soul to look like is so much more important than how you
100%.
look
I
like
love
on the
that.
outside.
100%.
And I felt like that helped me a lot, and
Yeah.
I always take that with me to like people who suffer with body images and eating disorders and stuff, and I always try and tell them because I feel like that really helped me.
Yeah, that was gonna be a question that I had for you. Is like, you know, if you met someone today that was kind of going through the same kind of stuff that you went through, what is something that you would tell them?
Yeah, it's hard because like when I was going through it in therapy and stuff, I didn't know if a lot of therapists even had eating disorders, so it's hard to kind of relate to somebody like that. But when you're actually talking to somebody with an eating disorder, it's hard because like there's not a lot to say. All of it, like
It's not like a one size.
like it's like when I'm talking to them, I'm like, I hear you, like I hear what you're saying. You have to have like you have to know your strength and know that you can get through this like mental block. But it's not like, oh, it's okay, you can just eat what you want and you know do this and you look beautiful and stuff like that. Because that went in and out of my ears when I heard
Yeah,
it.
that's not what they're looking to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, when I listen to somebody that I say like I'm listening to you, like I hear you, I know what you're going through, and there will be like a light at the end of the tunnel. Tons and tons of people say there's no there's no getting over an eating disorder. And I am like here to tell you there is totally an end to it. Like 99% I'm healed. Sometimes I have thoughts, but like
And is it based
there's
on
an
the
end.
work that you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to put the
So
work in.
So
Yeah.
with those therapy sessions, they gave you exercises and stuff to do.
Yeah.
So do you still practice those now?
No, I don't
No.
feel like I need those. I feel like I'm kind of gotten a good routine that, I'm stronger. I know them, but they definitely helped.
Right. So you
yeah.
built that foundation up
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with food like now?
Good. Like, I mean, I generally just eat intuitively. Like I can't track. Like I don't think I've tried it before and like dabbled into counting calories, and then I just pull away and I'm like, I can't do this. And when I start to do that, it causes a little bit of stress. So it's just not like I will never track my calories or even my protein. Like I just won't. Like I just eat healthy, balanced meals. And if I'm hungry, I'll have a snack. If I go out, I get a burger, I'll get fries. Like I'm in such a better place now that I feel like I can have that flexibility with food.
And with speed bumps and hiccups along the way, are there specific triggers to avoid? Obviously, you've talked about your addictions. You avoid certain triggers. I would assume it's the same for you.
Yeah, like mine would be
Like
counting calories. Or like
Yeah.
somebody says like, oh, you should go into a show or something. I was like, nope, I can't do that.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna ask.
not
I was gonna
good,
ask
yeah.
you about that. I was gonna ask
Yeah.
you about that. And like, what are your thoughts on a competition prep? Like, we all know like a competition prep is not healthy.
No, yeah.
Whatsoever, right? Do you have different thoughts and feelings about that? Maybe different than us because of what you've gone through.
Yeah, like I think if you have the mindset to do that and be okay afterwards, then totally do it. Like if it's your passion. For me, it's like sometimes it's hard to hear in the gym. Like people be like, no, I can't have that because I'm on prep, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And it's like life sounds so restricted for
I
you.
know,
Like
I know.
life is, if that's your goal and that's your passion, 100% do that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like if I go out on a Friday night, like I'd love to have a glass of wine and I want to have this, and I don't want to feel like I got to bring my chicken and my broccoli and everybody
You know
weigh
what?
it. And
And like you said, like that lifestyle is for some people, but for so many people
Yeah.
it's not, and those people will never compete, and there's absolutely nothing
Well,
wrong with
sometimes
that.
they
with that.
will,
That's
and
right.
that's when it
And that's when it's
goes
And that's a
downhill,
trigger too.
right?
Yeah.
Because then they get down to this leanness, right?
and they crave it.
And then they have a hard time gaining it back because that's not a healthy weight to maintain.
Yeah.
So there's such a low body fat that a lot of times they lose their menstrual cycles,
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
right?
Yeah,
Their cognitive
for sure.
function goes down, their hair starts to fall out, but they can't seem to rebound in the right way or in the healthier way because they want to maintain that shape, because that's where they're getting all the, oh my God, you look amazing.
And it's
How'd
not.
you do
Yeah.
it?
It's not sustainable.
No.
it's not
What
sustainable.
the way your body looks the day you get on stage is solely for the 4 people that are judging you.
Yeah.
But then what
And
happens
it's for
is
that day.
and for that
For
hour,
a few hours,
if
yeah.
you're doing
If-
the
yeah.
prep properly, right?
Yeah.
Because if you look at a lot of people that don't get center stage call out in the mornings, their physique looks a lot better at nighttime
Yeah.
because they realize, okay, I'm coming in 12th,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever. But those 3 or 5 that get called to center stage and they get that call in the mornings, they're continuing this to look that way.
Yeah.
And then where I think the obsession takes over is they wake up in the morning and they're like, okay, well, I need to look like it's not
Yeah,
sustainable.
it's
It's
body
not healthy.
dysmorphia,
No.
right?
Oh
And
my
that's
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
100% it is.
body dysmorphia. Big
And you
time.
see people posting too, and they're like, "Oh, I wish I was lean again. I wish I was lean again." And you're looking at them like, "You are lean. Like,
Yeah,
what
like
are you
you're
talking
lean right
about?"
now. That
Yeah.
was another extreme.
Yeah,
that
like
you
you're
can't
totally
maintain.
dehydrated
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah, it's not healthy.
Yeah, Jake was telling me
Oh,
that
God,
they drink like 12 liters of water or something like that before. Your poor kidneys, like,
water
oh
load.
my gosh.
You know what I was forced to do, and I was told to do 9 days out, I drank 9 liters.
Yep.
8 days out, 8. 7, right down to the day before I had 500 mil water to eat for 24 hours. And the day of, none.
Yeah.
Not
Not
only
even a
that,
coffee.
when I woke up, I had to toss 2 suppositories out to get every ounce of fluid
Wow.
that was in my intestines out of my body. Oh yeah, that's fucking healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the perfect way to
Yeah.
treat your body.
And I feel like a lot of people should be more educated kind of about what
Yes.
about
What
what
you're
you're
gonna go through.
going to go through if you
right.
decide to compete.
That's right.
Right? I think so many people go into they love the idea of doing the show, but they don't really know what they're signing up for.
And then the mental aspect
Oh,
of,
Yeah,
of
so
what you
mentally.
go through,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and that's directly related to your body. What your body's going through, your mind's going
Yeah.
through,
Yeah.
right? Like
well, like you do. Some people do. Like I've only done a 10-week prep.
Yeah.
But some people do 4 or 5 month preps.
yeah,
You do 5 months prep for what? Like an hour, if that, on stage.
yeah,
Right. You do
Yeah.
a 60-second routine depending on your class.
Yeah.
And then you do a couple minutes of mandatories.
yeah. Yeah.
All that work, 5 months for a blip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
then if you don't do well,
And you tell me, I personally, I loved my physique the best about 2-3 weeks after.
yeah.
I filled the water back in. I've got some
I'm the
percent body
opposite,
fat.
right? So, and maybe I'm wrong, but most women want to be lean,
Yeah.
right? And they hate the scale going up. For me, it's the scale going down,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I came from that little scrawny, puny human stage.
You don't want to go there.
I don't want to go low.
Yeah.
So for me, when my weight starts to cut, that's where it messes.
So
my
what
mind
did you
up.
compete? What weight did you compete at?
So my first show, like, my first coach was horrible. You want to talk about bad prep? Like,
Ditto,
I
pal.
like face planted into a wall at the group home because I was so starved. When I texted him, he's like, "Go get A&W." That was my response. So on that stage, I stepped on at 170,
Oh, you were small. Wow.
and I was stage ready. Like if you look at pictures, I was stage ready when I hired him as a coach on my own,
That's crazy.
and he just starved me.
That's crazy.
My second show, I stepped on stage I weighed in at 205. I probably stepped on stage at 210 or 215.
That's big on stage.
Yeah. And like the judge, when he's weighing me in, he's like, "You got a lot of growing to do."
Did he really?
Yeah.
And you're
He's
at
like, "You know,
210?
your cap is 236, right?"
Oh my gosh.
And I'm looking, I'm like,
You're
Oh,
like,
you know how hard
shit.
it was to get to 210?
so then I text my coach, like, "Bro, like, what the fuck?" You know, and now I'm like, I feel my best where I am right now. It's my healthiest mentally, physically, and I just feel good. And when I start prep, if I start prep, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just to close out before we get to rapid questions.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You're going to be a part of it. Actually, you're not. You're not.
Oh,
Chad is.
okay.
You need to answer every question as Chad.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
ready.
Okay, so get ready to morph.
All right.
But in closing with the topics we had today, what message do you have to a teenage girl out there that's struggling? Like when I looked up
Yeah.
stats for this, 90% of 17-year-old teenage girls have dieted. That's disgusting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's troublesome. And it's tragic.
It's crazy.
Is there a message you have for them to say, hey?
I mean, like, I would probably revert back to what my mom said. Like, you know, life isn't about how you look. It's like how your soul portrays in this world. And that's what carries you on as a person. And that's what people will remember is how you were as a person. Vanity can be such a big thing, but it really means nothing.
It's surface level.
Yeah. It's what you
Yeah.
do on this world that is important. And that's what you should focus on. And
Not what you look like while
No.
you're doing it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
And thank you for opening up and,
Oh, yeah. No
and
problem.
sharing with us.
Yeah.
No, I truly appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Well, I'm happy, like, you know, you go through hard things in life to come back out on the other side and hopefully, and, you know, help somebody else down the road.
Exactly.
Like there's always a reason you go through
It's
hard
good
times.
to share your story
Yeah.
because then someone listening to this might know somebody or is
Yeah.
somebody going through
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
and knows, okay, like I can get through this
You can.
because she got through it.
100% you can.
Even if
And
it's
like
just one
you,
person.
like, you know, and I'm not wrong here, but I think a lot of people in that gym look to you as an inspiration
Yeah.
because of how hard you train, how far you've come, and you know, everyone says it. Your ass is like unreal, right? So like you have built what every woman wants, so you should be absolutely proud of that.
Thanks.
And I'm
Thank
proud
you.
of you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. My parents are gonna watch this, so thanks, Jeff.
Well, it's like there's a deep compliment in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize. All right, rapid questions. Are we ready?
Okay.
Good. Chat.
Where's
So
your-
Paula's gone.
I need a hat. I need a hat.
toss the toque.
Yeah. Where's the two?
No, I
Can
need
you
a
grab the
backwards
two,
hat.
please?
A coupe.
That's what I said. We need the backwards
toque.
hat.
Right there. Yeah. Because Chad
Well,
needs a
this is
prop.
winter, Chad.
Can we switch?
Chad needs a prop. Ah, yeah.
There we
Yeah, we wanted the baseball hat.
I need this one. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, there he is. There he is. Welcome to the podcast, Chad. Chad.
Thanks, guys.
Chad's on the football team.
Yeah, Chad's what's your favorite animal, Chad?
A T-Rex.
Because you got little arms but big fat legs.
I was going to compare that to Corey, but
Strong
he's got
neck.
big
No,
fat
yeah,
legs.
yeah, no.
Strong necks, you know, I never miss neck
I
day.
go gorilla.
Gorilla, nice. Silverback, I like
Silverback
it.
gorilla for sure.
I like cheetah.
Cheeto. Fuck, that's
Cheetah.
my answer. Okay. What's your favorite word in a different language? Tabernacle. That's mine.
Saw.
God. Chad doesn't speak another language.
No,
Chad speaks
Chad's
Tirana.
Chad. Yeah, just Toronto.
Tirana.
Chad
Tirana.
speaks Tirana.
Chad from Toronto.
That's bullshit in sign language.
Nice. Okay, there we
That's the long
go.
form, and that's the short form.
Nice. I like it.
I don't know if I know another language. Bonjour is the only.
Oh,
other
gosh.
Again, turn his mic off. I think I say that every episode.
Yeah.
Where's the off button? Okay. What time do you wake up? What time do you go to sleep?
Well, I get up at 4:30 just so I can meal prep and get in all my egg whites, and then I do my fasted cardio for the egg whites. What was the question?
Chad has a substance abuse problem as well and short-term
What time
memory
we get
loss.
up?
Yeah, and when you answer that,
yeah.
what time do you go to bed, Chad?
Oh, late because I go back to the gym, and that's when bro hour starts. Yes.
I go to bed at like 10. I wake up at either 4:15 or 5:15.
Okay.
Depending on what time I start work, I'm normally waking up around 7, probably going to bed around 12.
12. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever worn socks with sandals?
All the time.
Yeah.
These are slippers.
Yeah, Todd's doing it right now.
the time.
Doing it right now.
Todd's got it right now.
No.
I have before, but
Only
not
if
on
I'm
a regular
barbecuing.
basis.
Only, okay. That's fair. That's fair. Tattoos?
No.
No.
I don't know.
You and I are covered.
Yeah.
Just turn that way.
Yeah, definitely just
He's got a fresh.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And no for you?
No.
Keeping the canvas blank?
No, I was gonna get one when we were in
gonna get one in
Florida, but
Florida.
the prices were ridiculous.
Yeah, that they are.
$600 American.
It's
for
not
something
cheap.
That was that big.
Yeah, and we won't
might
talk
get
about
a
prices
nice
right now.
dumbbell
Here.
on my bicep there, so
That's-
when it flexes, it bends.
Oh, nice.
What happened to
Well,
your voice, Chad?
It's just rusty.
Oh, okay.
all right.
From home.
Summer or winter?
Summer, because I can wear those tank tops with the ones that come too far
Sons
in.
have
And,
guns out, bro.
yeah.
Bra.
Bruh?
Okay, summer or winter?
Summer for sure.
Summer.
Morning or evening?
Evening.
I'm neutral. Either or.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any day that my pump is full.
Nice, Chad.
Like,
nice.
any time
That's-
of day.
Just carb it up, baby.
Any type
Carb
of
it
day.
up, dude. Do you watch one show at a time or do you binge a
4.
whole season?
Oh. Yeah. If I have time.
So yeah,
which
yeah. Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, if I have time, I'll binge.
Binge.
Okay, binge. Yeah, me too. Street smarts or book smarts? They're medical students. Oh,
I
no.
would say both. I'm going to have to say both. Yeah, because I know a lot.
What were your grades in school?
High.
No, we know you were
what
high.
state were you in? No, we met your marks.
Yeah.
High. Yeah, high. I don't know what that means, but high.
Okay, are you cautious or are you bold?
Pretty bold. Pretty bold.
Bold?
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation.
Buddy, you're cautious as hell. No, you're
You
like
think?
just- you don't
Okay.
have a bold.
All right,
bone in
Todd's
your
calling
body.
me out. I'm cautious.
Yeah. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Living on a prayer.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I thought his would be It's Raining Men.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah. Or I feel like a
Mine,
woman.
it's Michael Bublé. Anything Michael Bublé.
Ah, okay.
Mine's that Pocket Full of Sunshine song. Pocket full of sunshine. I got a pocket full of sunshine.
Okay, a little personal question. What's your last Google search?
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
What is my
This is gonna sound bad because I was at a
I should
party
ask Corey
last
first
night.
because he's practicing his answer right now.
But it was pegging.
Oh, pegging? Really?
It was pegging because I was at a party last night and that was
You were worried about my comment.
I
And your
kid you
parents are
not.
gonna watch
That is
this.
on my phone right now. Yeah, but I don't think they know what that means.
You're gonna Google it.
People are Googling like crazy right now.
My last
I should look at to see what my
you know
last
what?
Google search
I'll pull it
was.
up right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, pull it up. Let's be honest here, boys.
Oh, you know what? My last Google search was ethically sourced gym wear.
Oh, interesting. Segue. Yes, we'll chat about that later.
Foreshadow.
Yeah.
Mine was I just needed an ounce to grams calculator.
Announced the grand. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, fuck, you're boring, eh, man.
What was yours?
Yeah, what was your last
Good.
Google search?
Mine was
Also pegging.
If you want to know the
They
truth?
were at the same party.
It was statistics about teenage girls and
really?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, right, and eating disorders. This last one, what quote resonates with you? Is there a quote that resonates with you?
So I actually have on the background of my phone, the quote is 400 trillion to 1. So I don't know if you guys know Gary Vee. So that's like one. That's actually what I was
That was
gonna.
a tattoo.
That's
I
what I
know
was
the
gonna
quote,
get tattooed on me. So the whole idea is that 400 trillion to 1 is the actual likelihood of you becoming a human being, right? With how many people are on Earth and the rate that people are being born and all this different living things on Earth. It just reminds me that when everyone's complaining about the smallest little things in life, at least you've got one, right? So that's actually been the background of my phone for probably almost about a year now.
Love it.
And that's what I want to get tattooed on me.
Yeah, I think it's the same odds of you closing a PT sale too. But go ahead, pal.
Mine is every man dies, not every man truly lives.
Oh, I love it.
That's good.
That's good too. Chad.
Chad's is like protein is life, but mine is actually I really like I don't know if you guys know Whitney Simmons, but she has just been she's just a really powerful social media person, and she always says like it's a beautiful day to be alive, and I think that's so important. And I kind of take a spin off on that like every day is such a blessing, and to wake up and be healthy. Like I always write in my journal every morning that like today is going to be a good day. Like, you know, I'm waking up, I'm alive. And I think just like those kind of little sayings just to remember each day are good for me.
Love it. That leads into mine. Gather thee rosebuds as thee may, carpe diem, seize the day. Yeah. Okay, so leading into our next episode, should we be educating the masses on our podcast and in person for the benefits of supplements, both muscle enhancement and for weight loss supplements? What are the best and most important supplements to give to someone that's new to the fitness industry, new to lifting, new to competing? And in the introduction of supplements, can it be too overwhelming for someone that's new to a gym? And we'll discuss that in the next episode of the Kultured Kast.
This episode of a Kultured Kast is made possible by Paul Sadlin Motors, your local Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac dealer on Bayfield Street in Barrie, and online at paulsadlin.com.
Breaking news! If you like that and you want more of it, go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the other stuff.